Hello, everyone, and welcome to the lesson. Are we on 16 now? Is this 16? 17. The lesson 17 kanji live stream. I'm losing track from making all of these at the same time. How's it going, everyone?
みんなこんにちは。ようこそ。
Yo koso, welcome. This is today's Yuki's picture for today. See if anyone can guess what's going on in here.
ズームしないと分かりにくい。
いや、全然わかると思いますよ。Ah! Ohayo, that one person at checkout.
ありがとうございます。
インドから見ています。Welcome, Asha. Akshat Mohan.
ありがとうございます。
Nice, nice, nice. Cooking 久しぶり、久々。
ねえ。
Ali says, こんばんは。Woohoo! Says Stargumi, I have way too many languages on my keyboard.
ありがとうございます。カレンダーから覚えてくれてる。
ローさんおはようございます。Yuki Daruma from the word calendar. Yes, indeed. Nice. I'm glad you're finding some use out of that. Yeah. What's going on in this? I don't know if you guys looks like some bullying going on here, says Al-Sabi. That's what I said when I first saw it. I said, oh, poor Yuki. Do you guys think Ando-san or Rei-san will ever make a guest appearance? A guest appearance on the live stream. The live stream. Ando-san's a little bit shy for live stream, surprisingly, despite his demeanor. I don't know if he'd make it onto the live stream. Plus, I mean, maybe he could. I guess Yuki would translate for Ando-san. You do the translation.
本当？できるかな？まあちょっとねメッセージ送ってみますよ。
To Ando-san? Yeah, we'll ask him maybe.
うん。
That'd be interesting. But yeah, he's too busy drinking at everyone's barbecue. Love the reference. こんばんは、アメリカのフロリダ州からシーマス。
ありがとうございます。
シーマス。Mick Colum, welcome to the live stream. Yeah.
フロリダ、あったかいよね。
Is it warm in Florida? It is not warm here.
もう私もスノーバードになっちゃうかな、もう。
I don't know if you can see outside the snow falling.
見えないと思う。
No, it's going to be white. It's not as bad as it looks like on screen right now.
だけどなんか10センチメートルくらいパイルじゃない？
No, that is like this much.
うん。そう？
It's not that much.
その木はね。
It has been snowing for 2 or 3 days.
じゃあまだまだか。
But yeah, not so bad. I haven't met Rei-san in the videos yet. Someone to look forward to. Rei-san ね。
ね、レイさんね。
I can't remember what lesson she shows up in. One of the website videos. Oh, no.
リスニング&シャドーイングとか。
Also, it's from the live stream as well.
そう。ライブストリーム。
だって全部のリスニング&シャドーイングのビデオのダイアログは元気のレッスンから出たんでしょ？
レイさんね。
明るい。Yeah, no, it's also fogged up. It was 80 degrees today. What? いいな。I was talking to Yuki the other day. I was like, why don't we just take our laptops and go live in Okinawa for a month? Let's just find a place to rent for a month and just go.
でも
But maybe not this year. Maybe not this year. I'm in Virginia and it's going to be in the 70s by Friday. Insanely hot for this time. Yeah, for Virginia? Wow. That's quite warm. It's quite normal and chilly here right now. Let's see.
そうなんだ。バージニアも。でもそうだよね。バージニアさ、寒かったよね。
普通に寒かったよ。
私たち行った時。
Nagano right now is... Oh no, let's go over here. It'll be easier. Nagano is... -1. That's too bright. It's cold. -1 degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit. That would be rough. -10.
T シャツ？今 T シャツ？
T シャツ. Hey, but the early blossoms are starting in Japan. I don't know about that. I don't think the early blossoms start until February. Like the what are the trees before cherry blossoms? Anzu? Ume? Ume is like late February, early March, around here at least. So not quite. But the earliest cherry blossoms are like mid-March. Okay?
そうだけどそれはあれ大阪より向こうじゃない？
そう。Way south.
と東京がだいたい3月の終わり頃。
Right. Let's see.
すごいもうすごい素敵なね もう作ってくれてある開花予想カレンダーを。
I'm terrified of the thought of this summer. Oh my goodness. Yeah, if it's 80 degrees in Florida right now, it's going to be like 150 in the summer. Yep, trade-offs, I guess. The forecast is not popping up for me. Okay, let's see. Here we go. This is a website called Live Japan, but it doesn't want to load. Oh, here we go. Okay, let's see if I can share that with you guys. It looks like Fukuoka will be around March 20th, 21st to the 30th will be the peak. Osaka 25th, Nagoya 21st, peak 30th. Tokyo's the 30th peak. Kanazawa early April. So us too probably early April will be full bloom. And then up in Sapporo, it's early May.
そう、だいたいなんかゴールデンウィーク、その4月の最後から5月の第1週の時が、なんか北海道が桜が咲いてるって感じかな。そうだね。
14 freedom units, yeah. I appreciate the translation to freedom units. I love Sakura, Sakura, the folk song. I think I've heard that. Brittany says,
駒込の駅の音楽じゃない。
I don't know. I guess it's a song for one station in Tokyo?
山手線の駒込駅かな。
駒込駅 station on the Yamanote-sen apparently plays that song, Sakura, Sakura. Brittany says, I wanted to ask, Andy told us about os for hello a while back. I recently heard yahoo as hello. Is that common? It happens.
Yahoo, common だよ。
Yeah, it's pretty common. Yahoo. And it's also, I believe that's also what you shout at when you're on a mountain and you want to see if there's an echo. Like in English, I think we say yodelay hee-hoo, or maybe not. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But in Japanese, the version of that would be, that's it, right? Yahoo to check for an echo.
そう。でもさ、それみんなに前聞いたときさ、リーコラーって言ってたじゃん。
リーコラー, that's the name of a like a cough drop brand, and they use that as their marketing campaign, and they would shout Ricola. So yeah, a lot of people do that.
そう、私もね、そのコマーシャルを YouTube で見て
She watched it on YouTube.
練習していますからね。
Ali says, I'll be in Japan March 15th to April 15th, hoping to get to enjoy the bloom. Yeah, that's a good time to be here. Tokyo Explorer had a video late January from a place where they have blossoms blooming in late January. Apparently the earliest in Japan. Wow, interesting. I'm not sure where that is, but how many kanji lessons will there be? Like 1,000 probably. No, I'm kidding. There's going to be 23 meaning and writing lessons for N5, and then about the same amount for words, which will be starting in a few weeks, to be honest. 5 weeks we'll probably start doing words. And then N5 will start, or N4 will start. N4 Kanken 9, and that'll be another 30, 60 lessons. So total for N5 is 50. N4 will be 60. And then N3 will be 80. So a lot, 200-ish.
そうですね。
In America, we look at the colors of dying leaves in fall. In Japan, they look at the pretty cherry blossoms in spring. But don't be mistaken there. Japanese people love the dying leaves in fall. Absolutely adore them. They always ask as well when you're going to look at them with them, do you have dying leaves in America as well? Obviously, that's not how they ask it. But, yeah, love them. I have a cherry blossom tree where I live. It's so pretty for about a week. Yeah, it doesn't last long, does it? I don't think people yodel at mountains. I don't know. Depends. Depends where you're at. Most people just say hello, 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 hello. This room has a lot of echo. Just looked it up. It was in Atami. Atami ってめっちゃ早く桜が咲くらしいね。
あ、そうなんだ。熱海は静岡県だよね。温泉のリゾートのところだと思います。
So maybe the onsen, the steam from the onsen keeps it warm all year long, and then they bloom early?
わかんないけど、でも熱海らへんは結構あったかいと思う。あったかいところなんだと思うよ。
It's warm there. Okay.
ちょっとだけね。なんかすごい沖縄みたいにあったかくないと思うよ。
Right. But apparently it's the earliest place that the cherry blossoms bloom in Japan. Interesting. Only males use. Who asked that? Where's the question?
オス。
I've heard girls use it before.
なんか押すって感じ。
Right. A little less rough, I guess.
う
But
ん
it does have an image of being like the baseball team saying "os" and like
あ、そうそう。
young guys. But sometimes you hear girls say it.
も
It's
う
fine.
ね、ほとんどの野球部の
Mm.
学生さんたち
Mm-mm-mm.
とバスケ部の学生さんたちはもう「お」も聞こえません。
Us. Okay. She says most of the boys in the baseball team and the basketball team, you can't even hear the "o." It's just the "s."
まあ言ってると思うけどね。そうそうそう。
You kind of hear a little. Are we always going to do 5 kanji per lesson? I don't know yet. Depends on how far ahead we can get. But it is, as all things do, taking longer than we expected to do most of this stuff. So that's why I've been getting help with the editing, because otherwise I don't have time to catch up on N4. Any tips to not melt in Japan in the summer? Drink a lot of Pocari Sweat.
それだ。
That's about it. Aki ga suki. Ore mo suki desu. If you can make it to Washington, D.C. in spring, you can see Japanese sakura blooms too. They gifted us some and they were planted in D.C. I've heard about that. I think my parents have gone to see that before.
そうだよね。
うん
なんかあげてたよね。
うん
政府たちが。
そうそうそうそう。
政府たちがとか言って
Japanese red maple leaves are really beautiful. The tiny little.
だけどね、汁は出ません。汁が。
まあそうだね。Yuki's very disappointed that Japanese maples don't produce maple
そ
syrup.
う。汁ね。
We're so
汁とか
special
言っ
in
ちゃいけ
America.
ない
Our
よね。
leaves don't die.
シロップね、出ればいいのに。
Wear a hat, have a fan, stuff like that. Yeah, that helps. I could live without extreme hot and humidity of summer. Me too. But it is what it is. Hi from San Diego. You guys are awesome creating all these lessons. You're very welcome,
あり
Karina.
がと
Thank
う
you
ご
for
ざい
stopping by.
ます。
夏と春が好きです. I like both of them as well. I think I prefer fall. I don't know. There's something about the fall I like. But then, I don't know. Going for walks in the spring is also wonderful when it starts getting warm.
うん
Lots of Japanese red maples here in Seattle. So nice. Oh, really? Okay. There were
イエーイ
not Japanese maples, but there were cherry blossoms in Auckland when we lived there as well. There was a park full of cherry blossoms. We actually did a cherry blossom viewing
全国
one
寺
year. Auckland.
ああ、なんだっけ、なんて言うんだっけ。
I can't remember the name of the
そこ
park. It was right
あ
behind
る
her,
よね。
right behind her apartment.
羊たちがいるところ。
Oh, it's a sheep. Was it sheep? Not cows? Well,
あ、
sheep,
カ
I
ウ
guess.
ズもいるけど、あれシープはいなかったかな。シープもいると思うんだけど。
So that it.
うん、
So I'm hearing maple syrup is a good gift for the people that host us on my trip. Maybe, yeah. A lot of people like maple syrup, but it's very hard to get here or very expensive. For maple syrup, you can come to Canada. We welcome you. Thank you, Allie. Appreciate that.
ねえ、
なんだっけこれ。
木漏れ日？
木漏れ日ってなんだっけ？
木漏れ日は、
うん
その自分がさ木の下に座ってて、この葉っぱと葉っぱの間から太陽の日が、ね、こうキラキラキラキラって
Okay. I can see that in the kanji. Okay, that makes sense.
木から漏れてるの。
Right.
火が
Like the sun is dripping or leaking through the tree leaves. Okay. How do you say that again?
木漏れ日。
Komorebi.
そう、この時は木をこと読みます。
Which is why it's better to learn words than it is to learn just readings. Because I don't even think ko is listed as a reading for tree. Learning Japanese for fun. Your kanji videos are lifesavers and so easy to follow. That's awesome. Thank you very much, Jabs Labs. That one person at checkout says, I'm dying in New Zealand heat right now. New Zealand heat? I don't remember it ever being very hot when we lived there. Although, I guess it depends on where you live on the island. Auckland was never really above like 28 degrees
うん。
Celsius when we lived there, which was just a year. Maybe we had a mild year.
なんかタンクトップになると寒くない？
まあそうだね。日によるね。Hello from Normal, Illinois. I am an ISU student in the TESOL program and in my second semester of Japanese. I watch your videos all the time.
Oh.
Thank you so much for your content. You're very welcome, Stevie. Welcome to the stream. I'm glad to hear that they're helping. All the seasons have good parts. New green leaves in spring, camping and night swims in a lake under the moon in the summer, the cool relief of fall, the snow and lights of winter. Yes. I like them. Yeah, everything is, like you said, has its pluses and minuses. I think Yuki would disagree that there's not very much good about. Yuki doesn't really like winter. but she does like snowboarding.
So good. Not the good about the coldness.
Right. I just realized we have that wide open. Our faces are probably so washed out.
そうだ
We
ね。
probably need to close that.
雪が降ればね、明るいんだけどね。
ちょっとカーテン閉めてくれる？
はい。
ごめんね。I'm going to have Yuki close the curtain. And we will probably, because it looks like this outside.
もったいないね。
Nah, it's so light out, it's kind of sad to get rid of it. Oh, look at that. Much more moody lighting now. Ooh. All right, anyway. I think it is time for us to get into the video.
もう終わりか。
そう。
ランダムトークもう終わりか。
まあ、絶対ありますよね。これからも。ランダムトーク。
なんかそのさっきのイリノイのスティービーさんの、コメントなんですけど、テソルプログラムって私もやったやつ？
Probably not. Yuki also did a TESOL program, but I imagine it's a little bit different than the one
そうだよね。
you did.
じゃあそうか。
でも、I mean, probably similar. Similar, just not the same. I'm going to Japan in December for 3 months. I'm excited but very scared at the same time. You're going to have a great time. For 3 months. That's awesome. You're going to have a blast. Sneak attack. Our 2 weeks of winter in Chicago. Everything is melting and there's rain. We had our 2 weeks of winter. I thought Chicago was like super cold in the winter. I'm visiting my brother in Tokyo in April, and I've been listening to your videos on my hour commute to work. Thanks for taking the time to do this. You're very welcome, Dan. I'm glad to hear they're helping. Ohio from Ohio. New to the channel, taking Japanese 1001 class in college right now. I have a quick cue. The best way to say my last name in Japanese. It's French, and the meaning is sweet, kind. Generally speaking, your last name will be like a katakanization of whatever it is pronounced like in your own language. So if you told us what the pronunciation of your last name was, that would work better. Because you aren't allowed to like on official documents and stuff, you can't like choose your own name. Like you can't make a Japanese name based on the meaning of your English name. You would actually have to legally change your name to that to be able to use that in official documents. So you actually have to write your first and last name just in like a katakana version. Like my name is Andrew, but I have to write Andoryu. That's the close. If I wanted to, I could probably do Andoru instead of Ryu, but most people write it Andoryu. And my last name as well. My last name is I'm a Lord of the Rings villain, Saruman. That's my last name in Japanese. It's not doesn't sound like anything like that in English, but it's Saruman in Japanese. So I am the White Wizard, or I was the White Wizard. Unfortunately, I must go. I'm sad I'll miss the quiz in Turbo Yuki. Glad I can watch it later. Yes, it will be available for you there. Thoughts on turtlenecks? I don't usually like turtlenecks, but I like this sweater. I don't know. They feel like kurushi. Most turtlenecks. I don't like the ones that are tight around your neck. I don't like things tight around my neck. Not a big fan. Found out my actual kanji name from Hanko. I found at
Kinokuniya.
Oh, Kinokuniya. いいね。
あれ、紀ノ国？紀ノ国だよね。紀ノ国屋ブックストアだよね。
Once again, just like Yuki does for donations and stuff when she picks out kanji.
クロスじゃん。
It's likely not like there's no, for names, there's no like, this is the only kanji you can use for a certain name. Parents choose whatever they want based on the certain readings that you can do of kanji. And sometimes they make up their own reading based on the meaning of a kanji. That's pretty common nowadays. Weird readings for kanji.
So for Japanese kids ってことですよね。そう結構ね。
My point with that is it's probably not your quote actual reading. It's one that they chose for you. So in the end, it's fine to just choose your own for that. But once again, you can't use them on legal documents. Something to keep in mind. And yes, so Sagax Armis, you katakana is what you want. You wouldn't be able to write it in kanji. Of course, someone can pick kanji for you. It's just that you can't use that on official stuff. And if you say that that's your name to Japanese people, they won't know what you're talking about. I feel the same way about things around my neck too. Ohayou gozaimasu, Beanie. Bro, my kanji name has changed so much it should be a crime. How do you get the badge in YouTube chat? Is it linked to the ToKini Andy website rules? Unfortunately, it's not. I would love to be able to do that. The badge in chat on YouTube is YouTube memberships. So there's like a little, I think it's like $1.50 or something, or $2 a month. There's a membership on YouTube. There's nothing really beyond the badge and some special stamps. We haven't like really put a lot of effort into the membership on YouTube, sadly. But just because we have all kinds of platforms all over the place. But we do keep it available for people who would like to show their support. I saw a news article, and thank you for everyone that shows your support. We have 2 cats with Japanese names. Nice. My mom recently got 2 new cats and gave them Japanese names. Brad Ward, thank you so much. I just read 10 gifted ToKini Andy memberships. It looks like, who is that? It looks like you have the badge now, Allie. Thanks to Brad. Woo! Thank you. That's how, Allie. Oh, that's so nice of you. Thank you so much, Brad. Appreciate that. Please let us know. Well, I guess we could go with Brad. I think we've actually done your name before, but you're going to get some new kanji today if we haven't done it before. I can't remember. So Brad. Should we go with Brad or Bradley? Let us know which one you'd prefer. We'll start off with Brad right now. Oh, Himiya-chan became a member again.
ありがとうございます。でもブラッドさんがねくれたから。ね。ブラッドは前やったんだよね。
やった。だけどもう一回やってみるか。Unless there's another name you'd like us to do for you. If there's any other names you'd like us to do for you, let us know. Miyu and Sunako are their names. From my understanding, the first is Beautiful Dream, and the second could mean either Dark Child or Sand. Nice.
かわいい名前だね。
We go with the Dark Child since she's all black. Nice. Hello from Argentina. I'm new to the channel. Thank you for all you've been doing so far. It really helped me a lot know where to begin studying. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you.
そう私もその NHK のキラキラネームのニュース読みました。読みましたとか言う。何キラキラネームの。キラキラネームね。はい。キラキラネームと言うんですよ。それみんな。
They call names where like they pick a kanji, but the reading is just like made up. Kira names. Kira is sparkly. Sparkly names. So, ブラッドだって。カタカナだとブラッドだから。ブラッドで書きます。よろしくお願いします。Yuki's gonna work on your name right now in kanji. Thanks again, Brad.
はい。
Okay, question. Good way to remember 常用外の漢字 for 11級すごい Just 繰り返して書く。11級ね。
11級か。でもマジもう繰り返して書くしかないんじゃない？他に覚え方があるのかな？
Yeah, because there's not like a lot of work. You're not gonna run into them. So like for most, when you get past a certain point for most kanji and words, like you can just read a lot and watch a lot and you'll learn to read certain things, but you're never going to encounter, probably never going to encounter the words on the kanken, jun, ikkyu, or ikkyu. Probably never. I don't think in anything you're going to read, you're going to run into words for that. So you're not going to pick them up naturally. So in the end, it's going to be a matter of, doing it over and over again. And you can use memorization techniques like we use for these, make stories, things like that.
でもさっきのそのキラキラネームと同じで、準1級からはキラキラゾーンだと思うよマジで。
Yeah. Just like the kira names, the sparkly names where they pick random readings for stuff from Jun EQ. That's what everything is basically. It's just kira zone. It's just weird readings for simple kanji or like really weird writings of kanji. A lot of it is old kanji. Like a lot of it are the original versions of kanji. Yeah. So pretty much some memorization techniques and repetition, I guess. But it's hard. It's interesting that seems to be a worldwide phenomenon. Here in Utah, a lot of parents choose unusual names for kids. Yeah, right now it does seem to be popular. Everyone wants to have a super unique name, which is cool. 今はメインで2級目目指しているけど、
2級目指しているけど、
目指しているけどちょっと予習の漢字で準1級の勉強もしています。すげえ、カルロス。
すごい。私ね、2級落ちちゃったから何とも言えない。
Yuki said she failed the 2級。She did pass 準2級。全然もうやってません。ごめんなさい。2級 is not many people get it, and above 2級 almost nobody gets it. Not on the topic of kanji, but do you have any advice on guessing what kind of pitch accent to use when reading names? I am not a pitch accent expert, so you'd probably be better off asking Dogen about that. what I've heard mostly is that when in doubt, go with heibam. Yeah, that's what I've heard. When in doubt, go with heibam. But there are some, you'd be better off going with dogen on that. I am far from a pitch accent expert. I'm studying it myself, little by little. Choco choco. I suggested Aiko as a possible name if we had another girl. Hubby wasn't so keen on that. That's a good name, though. Do you ever see foreigners come to Japan and pick a favorite local name as a nickname? Like people coming here and becoming Charlie or something? No, it's much less common here because I don't think it ever, like, works. It doesn't stick. Like in America, if you go to America and your name is, I don't know, Satoshi, and you say, just call me John, people will just call you John in America. But if you come here and you're like, my name's Andy, but please call me Satoshi, nobody's going to do that. Like, it won't stick. So I've seen people, I think I've seen like people online try, but I don't think I've ever seen it in person just because it doesn't stick. People will look at you like, huh? Andy ne? So, unfortunately, no, that doesn't work out so well.
そう特にね、サオマン、そうめんのth の音が聞こえないからさ、ほとんどの人は。だから名字言われてもなんて言ってんのか。
まあ話はちょっと違うと思うけど、そうだね。はい。All right, so why don't we go ahead and jump into the video? Do Japanese use diminutive a lot or always full name? It depends on when you're talking about. Most people will use just last name when talking to people at work and stuff, and even people like friends and stuff. A lot of people will just use last names. If they're close friends, they'll use nicknames and stuff. My name is Rusty. You can call me Patina. Patina, yeah. My Japanese teachers always had us choose a name to use in class. Aiko is mine because it has the same meaning as my English name. Interesting. It doesn't actually happen here. So I'm sure they just, it's something fun to do in a class, I think. But it's not something I've seen here before. I mean, you're welcome to try, though. All right. Well, it's a long video today. So why don't we go ahead and jump into it? It's 18 minutes. It's the longest video to date. I think because we had 3 parts, was it? Something like that. Maybe only 2 parts. I'm working on the lesson 20 script right now. Yeah, 3. I'm working on the lesson 20 script right now, and that has 5 kanji and 6 parts. My goodness, that's going to be a long video. Looking forward to that one. All right. Yeah, it's just for fun, but I love the name. Yeah. It's too bad your husband won't let you use it. On we go. Welcome to the 17th ToKini Andy Kanji lesson. Today we're going to cover the meaning, building blocks, writing, historical evolution where applicable, and a story to memorize each of the following kanji. I'm sorry to hear that. We'll also learn the parts and radicals needed for those kanji. Is a Japanese bobtail a type of bird or cat? Japanese bobtail. Well, let me know. Let me know. I'm not sure what that is, actually. Today, there are 3 new parts. And stick around to the end of the lesson where we'll be doing a quick quiz to help everything stick. By the way, check the pinned comment below this video to see why we are not learning readings for each kanji just yet. Let's get into it. All right. Remember, we're not learning readings because we're going to learn words for them. Very soon, actually. Just a few weeks off. You may notice the tree in this kanji. Well, that extra line there represents the roots of a tree, which means that this kanji is off this line here, right? This is the roots of a tree, apparently. Often used to indicate something's origin or source. It's also the second kanji used in the name of Japan. Yeah, so if you look at this, this is obviously not Sun Book. Japan is not named the Sun Book. It is the source of the sun. The source of the sun. The sun starts here. That's why the sun is their on their flag. And did you know that, did any of you know by a show of bananas that the circle on the Japanese flag was the sun? And by a show of, what could we use? By a show of, I don't know, carrots, if there is a carrot emoji, who knew that kids draw the sun red in Japan? Whereas in America, I believe we draw it usually yellow. In Japan, it's usually red or like a dark orange when kids draw it. It's definitely a different color. Let us know. Not too many people. There's quite a few bananas. I don't know why, but when I was still learning these kanji early on, I found hon so much easier than a lot of the other ones I was learning. Yeah, it sticks out. I don't know. It's a nice looking kanji. It's a lot of bananas and carrots. Okay, but just recently. There is a carrot emoji. That's good to know. Broccoli, I'm guessing Rocky did not know that. Did you know Japan's flag is a pie chart of how much Japan is Japan? It's also that. Yes, carrot. Okay, yeah. So another interesting color, like blue traffic lights. Yes, indeed. I'm covering that in one of the next videos. I think lesson 19 or 20, we covered blue. But when I started studying Japanese, blue, the kanji in the word, ao, was only listed in English to Japanese dictionaries as blue. But they finally listed it as blue and green. So technically the word blue in Japanese covers both. So it's, it's nice that they actually started, adding that to dictionaries now. But anyway, the first word you'll likely learn that uses this kanji, though, and this kanji alone, is book. I mean, books are also made from trees, so that kind of makes sense. Midori is just a straight up green, but it's not used for traffic lights, and it's also not used for plants, sprouting plants, like fresh greens, as we'd call them, we usually use the word blue to describe their freshness. Or owl, I guess. Books can also be considered a source of knowledge, so I think that works out well too. The official radical for book is tree, but we can break it down into a tree and a one. There are 5 strokes in book. I don't know for sure why that is. I'm assuming that midori is more of a newer word. I know there's a lot of talk. I've seen like podcasts and stuff about how in the ancient world blue was like not a color that was recognized. So perhaps that was the case with this word as well. Maybe it meant green first. But I'm not 100% sure on that one. We first draw the tree in exactly the way you would normally. Horizontal stroke first, followed by the vertical staff stroke. We'll let Yuki's calligraphy. Then the branches hanging down. Yuki's required to draw this one really Finally, politely. We cut through the trunk of the tree with the horizontal one, representing the roots. Okay, now that we've seen this, it's time to show us Brad's new kanji name. Thank you again, Brad, for all of the donated gifts.
はい。ブラッドさんありがとうございます。ブラッドさんね、前回ともしかしたら同じ漢字が入ってるかもしれないんですけど、今回はちょっとかっこいいmanly侍にしてみました。
You got a manly samurai name.
サムライネームじゃないけど、そうそう、サムライッシュにしてみました。ブラッドのブはこのたけし、武士の武という字です。この字がなんだっけ、warrior。
The first one is warrior, yeah, it's for a warrior, a samurai.
はい。で、ラは良いという字です。
The next one, da, is good.
で、このドがちょっとクリエイティブにしちゃったんですけど、これ勤めるでつととも読めるんだけど、動力のドでドとだけでも読めるのね。
You can read this one as 勤める to like to work on something or to take responsibility and do something. And it can also be for working hard or doing, giving your best to something. And it can also be read as do, so she got a little bit creative and did the tsu do. So it becomes ブラド。
そう。本当はこの小さいつっていうのは日本語の名前にはない、漢字にはあんまりないやつだから。
The small tsu is not usually in kanji names, but we can do things like this to make it work.
はい。
Brad said he took a screenshot and he loves it. Thank you. You're
あり
very
がとうご
welcome.
ざ
Thank
い
you.
ます。
All right. Jumping back into the video.
はい。
I think we have learned all of the parts of
This
all
was
three
always
of
a
those kanji.
pictograph of a tree with an extra stroke or two added to represent the roots.
Yeah, we actually have, except for the top, the enclosure for warrior. I don't think we have that one. I don't know what kind of tree this one is, but I'd sure like to see one on whatever planet. Who was that? Was that Brittany that said that this looks like the tree is wearing armor? warrior armor. I can totally see that it's got the samurai hat, like the samurai what is that called again? Kabuto, and then this is like, I don't know. I could see the armor or wild Pokemon. And it comes from. We're going to use the story from a fluorescent worm in the ground, a tree springs up. The origin of all trees. And from that tree hang books. The origin of our knowledge. All right, so it is time to do our writing versions of this. Zoom out a little bit. Okay, let's see what Yuki draws like.
はい。いつもカリグラフィーの時超緊張します。
It's a tree with people around it. Yeah, I could see that. Gotta zoom out a little bit more on this.
はい。
All right, nice and big tree. It's perfect. I don't think I can do that well. Wow, I don't like that.
そ
I don't like that last.
ういいじゃん、エバーグリーンっぽくていいじゃん。ファインツリーっぽくない？
はい。
はい。
いいね。
いいと思います。
The green doesn't show up so well, does it?
うん。
I'll switch to red.
違うやつにブルーかレッドにしていただいた方が。
All right, so we've got that. Let's see what Turbo Yuki looks like.
はい。ターボしてもそこまで全然変わりません。
It doesn't change so much, yeah.
あ、ここがちょっと離れちゃうかな。
Yeah, a little bit.
うん。
The branches are much shorter, and sometimes the first line, the second line comes like across the book. Oh, and this is like a loop.
だけどループはね本当はしないと思う。今これホワイトボードが結
Because
構
it's a big pen.
滑る滑るからペンがね。だからそんなに何も変わらないと思うこの。
そうだね。
うん。同じです。
Yeah, I don't think you'll have a hard time recognizing this one.
同じです。
Oh, yeah.
うん、同じ。
Not so bad. All right, so to type this one, remember, by the way, we only teach the speed writing, so you can have like an idea of what it might look like if you ever see someone's handwriting. If you have to read a handwritten note in Japanese, not to practice. That's something you naturally become able to do if you write a lot. Anyway, the word we're going to use to be able to type this one, which we also do not teach readings here yet. We're going to be teaching words later. This is just so that you can type it during the quiz, is obviously a hom. Hom.
はい。
Hom. Spacebar. Enter. And that like if that is not the first kanji when you press spacebar, I will be very surprised. It might happen to some people, but it should be the first one every time. I don't even know if okay. Yeah, it should be the only kanji that shows up individually. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a book. I was wondering why there was a bunch of colors popping up on screen, but it's because there's different colored books. Interesting.
すごい。イングリッシュ漢字がいっぱい選べる。
Yeah, there's a ton of English kanji here. Look at all those English kanji. Different colored books. Or notebooks, maybe? I don't know. Anyway. All right. So that was... Yeah, that's it. いいでしょう。はい。I think Yuki really has like a tendency to want to teach you all the readings for the kanji, and she has to hold back every part of her being from doing so.
ちょっと出し惜しみますからね。
But I don't let her. Sorry.
はい。
All right. So, on we go. Remember that it's a good idea to pause the video after each story and really try to imagine it, or to create a story of your own that will help you remember the kanji even better. Make sure the story contains the meaning and every single part in some way. This kanji shows up in lots of words that have to do with culture, writing, and the like. So we went with a meaning of, not all of them, but some of the main ones. They usually do learn, like, they learn one of the main readings, like the Chinese readings or something, and probably like a verb or something, and then they just go over and over and over and over again writing while they're saying it to themselves. Hom, 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 either in their heads or out loud, just writing over and over and over again. But I'm not like, I'm just showing a basic idea of the type of paper that they might use. The reason I'm showing you this, we now on the website, we have a bunch of papers like this. that we downloaded off a website called kanji.jitenon.jp. They allow you to share things like this, sheets. So for the first, how many lessons? 5 lessons? 6 lessons?
あ、そう、8まで
Up to
できて
lesson
ます。
8, I believe, Yuki has
のはずです。
created these, borrowed these, and they're up on there. They have little gray lines that you can practice writing on. And anyway, they would write, a whole page or 2 pages of this for homework every day. Probably a couple kanji every day.
はい。
And just saying it over and over again. And, it works eventually, but it takes 12 years. So I don't necessarily recommend doing that only. But I think these sheets could be good for getting a little bit of practice. So if you're a member of the site, those are up there now up to lesson 8. Literary arts. The official radical for literary arts is literary arts. Ooh, I like that. I like that story of Five-Toed Sloth Bear. I also learned a story that the extra line in the book is where the tree was cut down so it could become a book. Nice. Yuki could make some paid videos with all of those readings. We'll get there. We're gonna do the readings here on the channel. They'll be happening just within words. But yeah, Yuki maybe could do an extra video where she's just talking about all the possible readings and writing over and over and over and over and over again. Big surprise there, I'm sure. The parts can be broken down into a pot lid and grass clippers. There are 4 strokes in literary arts. We start with the 2 strokes in pot lid on top, and then write the normal and backwards no characters beneath. In some fonts, the final stroke is not connected to the pot lid above, but in writing it often is. Make sure to sort of sweep out the ends of each no stroke at the end.
See you
If
later,
I
Brittany.
had better researched the history before choosing the name for this kanji, I likely would have chosen the name decoration, as that's historically what this character represented. I've seen explanations that it's a pictograph of someone with tattoos, or the color of the clothes someone is wearing. It's clearly a fancy person with something unique on their body, whether tattoos or clothes, as this person is quite different from the other historical representations we've seen of people so far. As a quick note, while I did do some historical research before choosing names for this N5 series, I'm doing way more of it before choosing names for the N4 series right now. Yeah, to explain this a little more, I purchased a bunch of actual Japanese, native targeted Japanese dictionaries for kanji, just kanji dictionaries that are written in Japanese, after I chose all the stuff for this, for N5, all the readings and stuff. I tried to do as much research as I could using the internet, but unfortunately, free stuff, while free stuff is great, it doesn't always cover it. So it turns out that the actual dictionaries for kanji have a lot more detail about the history and the actual different meanings and stuff that can be officially used for each kanji. So now for N4 series, I'm going through multiple dictionaries, multiple websites for every single kanji and picking what I think is the most appropriate name. Once again, I tried to do that for this series as well, but sometimes I picked wrong. So I'm just mentioning it as we go along in the videos now. So hopefully this little issue won't happen again. To memorize this one, we're going with the story, "The literary arts can make anything sound artistic." We should actually write this book. ToKini bestsellers, the little grass clippers that could. ちょっと書いてもらえますかね?
わかりました。
Yuki's gonna write it for us.
頑張って
Put a pot lid on
出
some.
していきたいと思い
お
ます。
願いします. Grass clippers, and you've got yourself a literary masterpiece. You can see here a book about pot lid wearing grass clippers. All right, so it's already time to write this one down. Ba-boom.
はい。ちょっとね、これね、バランスが取りにくいよね。
Yeah, this one's hard to balance properly.
こう
It's
か
a little
な
bit。difficult, but it's not bad.
本当は
You can see here
左
it's
側
connected.
を
Usually you do have it, I guess, disconnected a little bit. But a lot of people will write them connected. I've always written it connected, but I'm not going to right now. Oh, the first one should be connected, eh?
そうでもないですね。
そうでも
そうでも
な
ないいです。
そうだね。Wow, that's pretty bad.
あ、フォントみたい、フォントみたい。
This is the historical version.
うん、
I want to try again. If I do it faster, it's probably better. Because I've written this one a lot.
あ、そうだね。
No, it's still I always have the chest of the person too big. Probably because I used to like lifting a lot. That's better.
あ、いいじゃないで
That's
す
not
か。
bad.
これね、一応ここが離れてもね全然いいです。こう
Okay,
い
so
う風
it's
に。
okay to be a little bit separate. I mean, they are grass clippers after all. All right, turbo mode. I imagine turbo mode doesn't change much, eh?
はい、そう、doesn't change much ですね。かねですかね
We've got a
ちょっと待って
soul,
も
a
う一回
backward
もう
a
一回
soul.
書くね。ああ、なるほど。とか言って。
やってみないとわかんないね。
そうそう。
It doesn't look
ちょっ
much
と待っ
different,
て。
but
これ
there's less strokes.
このチョンは多分いつもの鍋豚のやつなんですけど、ここに来てからそのままこういう風にいった方が
そうだね。こ
ういう感じ
I see, yeah.
なんかこのさ J のさこういうやつみたい J
Like a calligraphy J.
そうカリグラフィー J っぽいくない
A little bit, yeah.
このB のこういういくこういう B の
Oh, like a, yeah.
そう
right.
ここの部分ね
Yeah, I see that.
なんか
It also reminds me of newt,
本当は
but
こ
like
う
a
だけ
fancy
ど
newt.
うん。
It does look
ち
fancy,
ょっと
actually.
もう一回
Super
書き
speed.
ましょう
All right, Turbo Yuki.
こんな感じだよね。あ、でもちょっ
It's quite
と
nice.
ちょっとつながらなかった。
まあ、
うん。
悪くない。All right, to write this one, someone mentioned a minute ago when they first learned this kanji, Brady it was, there's so many possible readings for this one. So there's a lot of ways you can get this one to show up. I usually go with mon or bun. Bun is usually gets me there first. What do you think is best, Yuki? Probably bun.
まあ文かな。あと文ってさすぐ出る？
Bun is the first one that pops up for me.
分けるっていうふんっていう字が文に出る？あ、出ないか。
何？ふん？
文はそれ出ないか。
ふんは出ないね。Bun. Bun seems to be the easiest one to pop it up because of, as actually Amanda Nordstrom just wrote, bungaku. Which is the meaning of this, basically. the meaning we used. So, bun.
か、門は出ないよね。
No, I usually go with either bun or mon. Mon does come up as the sixth one. So, mon also works. But bun is probably good enough for most people for
み
typing.
んなもう字やったから、文字で字消す。
確かに。Moji. Can you just do
そうそう
mo? Probably not, eh?
そう、もだ
Mo's
け
not
は
gonna
で
come up
きないんだ
because
けど。
moji is only moji.
そうそう
I always get confused between these. Yeah. It almost looked like daijobu, but definitely not daijobu. If you just look at it, it's like, oh, daijobu. Nope, not at all. Not even a single one of those. That's kind of
全
funny.
然大丈夫じゃない。
Zenzen daijobu ja nai. I could see that though, yeah. That's why the stories help differentiate them, I think. But anyway. Yeah, so boom. Remember, we're not teaching these as readings. This is just so that you can type it during the quiz. Yeah, moji and delete the G. Moji.
そう。
Boon's probably faster. Well, no, moji might be just as fast to type moji and delete.
どっちの方がいいかな？
It's like split second differences. But you know how competitive we get in the quiz here. It makes a difference possibly. Nowadays, I definitely go with boon. The others, especially mon, seem to rarely be used outside of specific compounds, but I'm also probably not well versed enough with words to actually use it. Now, you're right. Mon isn't as common. All right, sweet. On we go.
はい。
Please share any stories you made for the kanji in this video in the comments. It might help someone who our stories did not help. Can't imagine that. Can't imagine that. That brings us to our first part for today, which is the brush radical. Technically, it is its own official radical, but this is really only used as a radical and not a kanji on its own in modern Japanese. So we're not worrying about that today. It can technically be broken down into 3 parts. One that looks like a yo katakana that we'll be covering in N4, a 2, and a staff. But this is actually easier to learn as a pictograph, so we're going to use itself
as a single part today. Right, we have these up as the parts, but we're just going to set this aside as its own part, despite it being quite complicated. There are 6 strokes in brush radical. We start with drawing the 3 strokes in what looks a lot like the katakana yo, except for the fact that the second stroke cuts through the first up. So there's the hand with the 3 fingers. This is the arm holding out like this. Right? Side down and backwards L stroke. Now here's the bristles of the brush, or whatever, the brush part of the brush. And also starts further out to the left than the first stroke. And here's the handle. After finishing up on the yo part, we draw 2 beneath it. We then cut through everything with a vertical staff stroke. Historically, this was always a pictograph of a hand holding a brush, with the yo part representing the hand and the rest of the strokes representing a brush. As usual, you can see right here. I mean, this is clearly a hand holding a brush. This is the clearest looking one, I think. Oh, this one's not so bad. This one too. Much more clearly an arm here. This one, not so much. I don't know. The ancients had weird hands.
この
そう。
あ、でも縦なんだよね、これ。
縦。So they're holding it like that.
こういうことだよね。
So. It's a big brush, so they had to hold it like this.
ブラシってこういう感じ？
まあね。Something like that. And then the arms coming off. Yes, exactly.
アームがちょっと細すぎた。
The first one looks like a chicken leg. yeah, kind of. That's true. Yeah, but basically like that. For sure. Older versions were more clearly pictographic, and the aliens only had 3 fingers. For our story, we're going with a pictograph of a hand holding a calligraphy brush. The bristles made of 2 fluorescent worms. Originally, I imagined these as the bristles, so they probably should have been coming down like this, but somehow we got an actual brush on there. Speaking of brushes, hit the like button if you enjoy all the calligraphy that Yuki has worked so hard on for this series. According to my trusty kanji list, hit the like button on the stream too. It definitely helps, and hearts in chat for Yuki's calligraphy because it's wonderful. That I created. We have one more part before we can move on to the next kanji. It means according to. You may notice that this looks an awful lot like sun, but it's not sun. The one in the middle does not connect to the other side of the mouth, which is the only way you can really tell the difference. It is its own official radical, though we're just learning it as a part, since this is a kanken level 1 kanji, so we don't really need to worry about that. We can break it down into a mouth and a 1, though. There are 4 strokes in according to, which are exactly the same as those in sun, except that the 3rd stroke, which is a vertical 1, stops short before reaching the other side of the mouth. Some versions of this, especially in font, are written bigger than sun to make it a little more obvious that they're different. Let's see if it happens in chat. We'll go with he and iwaku. Iwaku.
ちょっとイワクの方がファッキーかな。
On this one, it's a little bit bigger. Let's see what it looks like in the live stream font over here. Oh, it definitely looks different in the actual YouTube font. In the actual YouTube font, the Iwaku, this one looks a little bit flatter, interestingly. So if you pull this over here, look at that. Sun is taller and Iwaku is written flatter. Or this kanji, it's written a little bit flatter than that. Interesting. One is wider, but honestly, they look the same. Yeah, I mean, if you saw them in isolation, you could be forgiven for thinking they were the same kanji, for sure. At least that's why I think they're bigger. I should mention, though, that when this is a part in other kanji, it's often indistinguishable from sun. So that's exciting, isn't it? Historically, this has always been a pictograph of a mouth. Historically, they're much more clearly different from each other. But yeah, nowadays it's silly how close they are together. Some explanations say that the one inside is a tongue. It's always had a meaning. This part, apparently this is supposed to be the tongue. But like, I feel like this is the inside of the mouth. So why is the tongue up above it? But
I didn't make the. It could be like a. I guess it could be a mouth from the side facing up, like someone laying down like this, or like the mouth on the inside of the mouth, and this is the tongue on the inside, and this is like your esophagus or something. I don't know. Meaning of speak, but to avoid confusion, I don't make the history. I just translate it. Using it with the kanji for say, we've gone with according to, which is one of the few common words that this is still used in. Right, there's like one word where this kanji shows up in regular day-to-day life, and that is iwaku, iwaku. And it means according to someone, and then there will be like the quote, someone iwaku, according to someone, then they have the quote. You will see that one sometimes, but in like books and stuff. I don't know. I don't think this is a joyo kanji, so I don't know if it shows up in the news. I don't think it does. Because joyo kanji are the only kanji that are allowed to be used in newspapers and in government documents. And I don't believe this is a joyo kanji.
Yeah, joyo kanji.
Is it?
なのかな?
Joyo kanji I think it's kanken 1.
いわくだけだよね、この。
Like the radical is fine, but I don't think it's joyo.
どうなんでしょう?
I think it's a joyo guy. Anyway, but you will see the word a lot. I've seen the word a lot.
全然ちょっと超ディレイなんですけど、ボブキャットのこと、ジャパニーズボブキャットのこと。
I saw the picture earlier. Arigato. Bobtail, ne? Anyway, we'll keep going on. She's gonna look that up.
The old versions look more like a boat to me, but this line that keeps moving around,
a bucket with a rock in it. Yeah. Once you put this as a part, it seems like. Sorry, I am redundant apparently. No. You're not. But excuse me. I agree.
And on top is the tongue, I guess, or maybe a mustache. For our memorization story, we're going with, according to mouth 1, when mouth 2 says something, you can see that its tongue is actually a fluorescent worm. I hope that you wrote everything down that we...
that's not a kanji, so we're not going to be writing that. Yuki has some update.
常用漢字外と書いてあります。
Yes, it is not a joyo kanji. So we won't be learning it separately as a kanji.
Covered so far today, or
but you will see the word iwaku from time to time.
at least tried to write some of the kanji. I mean, you don't really have to, but this kanji means right. The official radical of right is brush.
It was an awkwardly long amount of time that my shrug was on screen.
Hello? Really? You're right. Correction. The official radical is according to.
Missed opportunity, eh?
The parts are...
Right, so this kind of explains why I even bothered to teach according to. Like, I learned this kanji as a brush and sun. And I can't remember. I think it was writing the sun into existence or something. It was maybe the story that I used for myself. And you could teach it that way, right? But on this series, we are teaching the official radicals. And I think it's worth knowing about them. Like, you don't have to memorize what every single official radical is along with the kanji. I think it's good to know what they are because it can help give some clarification to what the meaning is. Like, it helps. It can help with why the stroke order is the way it is, things like that. There's lots of reasons why being aware of official radicals is valuable. So if I were to teach this as brush and sun part, but then I told you that the official radical was this other kanji that we've never learned before, it just didn't make sense. So I decided to go ahead and teach according to as a part on its own. And this is why, because the official radical for this kanji is actually not sun, it's according to.
Our brush and according to, though. There are 10 strokes in right. We start by writing the brush radical. Remember that the second stroke in the part that represents...
I don't think Dan actually did the sound effects for that. I think he's playing with it and choosing like different sound effects for the alien voices, and different like images and stuff. We have some sort of plans for the future for the aliens, but we'll see. They might make an appearance one day, but for now, since they're gonna stay blurry.
Hand holding the brush is much longer than the outer fingers and cuts through the right side. I guess that part represents the arm or something. After writing the 2 below this part, we then cut the vertical staff stroke down through everything. But we do not cut through the bottom this time. When brush radical is used as an upper part in a kanji, the final stroke does not cut through the bottom. So make sure to stop at the final horizontal stroke. We then draw what looks exactly like sun beneath this part, but is actually according to. And this is a theme. When according to does show up as a part in other kanji, it usually is just sun. Well, sort of. Historically, this was a pictograph of a brush writing something down, just like it is now. The lower part was apparently this full kanji over here, right? So this was apparently, like historically, it was this. That whole thing was down here. And then it was abbreviated for some reason into according to. That we'll learn later. We don't have the full history. Like, it doesn't exist, the full history as to why certain things were changed and abbreviated. We just know that they were. That's all we know. Later. And it was eventually simplified into just according to, despite that being an entirely different kanji. We can clearly see the modern form appearing around 500 years ago during the Ming Dynasty. To memorize this one, we're going with the following story. Does everyone notice that write me like one of your French novels, and upside down we have write me like one of your The brush writes down things according to others. Like quotes or something. All right, so question in chat from Kia-san. A question I've been wondering as I learned to write kanji. Do Japanese people fit kanji on a single line in a lined notebook?
この一列だけってこと、一列以上やると思う。
そう
なんかたまに2列。
Sometimes, yeah, but if there's like a one line, 2 lines in a book, and you write in between them,
あればじゃあクエスチョンの意味が分かってないかも。もう一回お願いします。
そのノートの中には、列があるんじゃないですか。その列の間に書けるのって聞いてる日本人が。
列の間に We should
probably bring up a picture for Yuki because I don't think she understands what you're talking about. Or no, I could just write it. So if you have a notebook, right? Usually it's like this. Right? Inside of it. And can you write kanji inside of it is what they're asking.
あ、書ける。
Do Japanese people write inside of it is what she's asking.
Yes だと思う。
So, absolutely.
この普通のなんていうのルーズリーフみたいなのやつってことだよね。そう。書けます。
Yes, they do. They definitely write them small in there, and they get pretty tiny. And it's usually written in Turbo Yuki mode. So that's one of the reasons we show it because if you see somebody's handwriting, it's going to be small and it's going to be in turbo mode most of the time.
なんか大学生のノートみたいなので多分いっぱいイメージが出てくると思う。
Yuki says maybe search for college student 大学生のノート. I think this is just going to give us advertisements for buying notes. Oh, but okay. No, okay. We've got a bunch of things we can show you here. All right, let's see. We'll get this up.
あ、これは数学かな、こっちは。
Yep, you can see the kanji right in between the lines there. Sometimes, they're getting outside of them, but definitely. 口はダランベル塩酸子。
ちょっと私わかりません。
四角はダランベル塩酸子。And you can see it's all right in the lines. Yeah, definitely.
すげえこれ物理科学物理
maybe physics, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, definitely can write within the lines.
あ、こういうのはあれかな。とかこういうやつ。
これ？
何書いてあるんだろう。
Oh, I can't zoom in. It's too small. Anyway, okay. Yes, definitely. We had some other questions here. Come to Japan Dan, hit the like button. He says, welcome to the stream. Jumping in to say
あり
hi.
がとうござい
Thanks
ま
for
す
jumping by, man. I commented about the French novels out loud when watching the premiere. Okay. Yeah, I'm glad someone noticed it. I tend to write my kanji very tall. I hear you. Do you need one of those 0.38 millimeter or lower pens? They help, but no, most people will just use a regular like 0.5. 0.5, I think. Okay, because the kanji for right looks so big. Yeah, like part of it is we're going to write it now, actually. Part of that is we're using, a brush, like a big brush to write it with ink, pen. What do you call that? Sumi.
筆
Sumi.
あ、墨
Yeah,
汁
bokuju. なんて言うんだっけ?
墨じゃなくてペン
英語でね。英語でなんて言うんだろう? It's basically ink. I can't remember what it's called.
特別な名前があるのインク以外に
だって日本語にも特別な名前があるんじゃないですか? Maybe charcoal ink or something like that. Yeah, and we're using like giant markers, but usually with a pen they get smaller. I think we can look in a. Oh, hold on. We can look at Yuki's. Here's Yuki's actual. Like this is zoomed in and quite a small box. But yeah, so that's actually a pretty small box, just zoomed way in. But this is a normal size pen. Tyler H, thank you so much. Good evening, Andy and Yuki. I just found out the other day that I passed the N5 exam, and I wanted to say thank you for your course. It was super helpful. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to hear that. I just realized I wasn't showing you the computer screen when we were watching that. But anyway, this is a tiny little box, and that's a regular size 0.5 pen, I believe. Thank you so much, Tyler, and congratulations on passing the N5. That's so awesome. Congratulations.
ね、おめでと
Yeah, that's
うやっ
awesome.
たね
I don't know why it's so wrong to see the same math
お疲れ様でした。
equations in the middle of a page filled with a different alphabet. Yeah, it can definitely feel weird to look at math in Japanese. Thank you so much, Tyler. I appreciate that. We're gonna work on Yuki's gonna work on your name in Japanese. Immediately after we write the first. She's gonna go ahead and write kanji for us
はい
for kaku for
いきますよ。
right now. Congratulations, Allie. Congratulations. That's awesome. Very nice. You will notice that when people write in notebooks and stuff, sometimes for more complicated kanji like this, you may see people write the kanji bigger than the hiragana. Like you'll see the okurigana for like this is the word to write, kaku. You may see people write it taller. So someone was saying how they write kanji quite tall. You see Japanese people write kanji tall sometimes too, and then the hiragana is just smaller next to it. So that is something you will see sometimes. So something to keep in mind. Here's my kaku.
アリさんもおめでとうございます。みんなすごいね。いいじゃないですか。
俺のkakuは。
いいじゃないですか。
そんなに悪くないね。
結構。
It's okay.
うん。
I definitely would like to see capital kanji. Yes, capital kanji. That's it. Turbo mode, I'm curious to see for that. I mean, I have an idea of what it's going to look like, and it's going to be fun.
ねえ、このこうだよね。
そう。
いつも。
This one gets a bit messy.
こうだよね。
So, that one gets a bit messy. But I mean, the shape of it is fairly recognizable, I think, when you get used to it.
大きく書くわ。
Yeah, all that gets connected together. When it's written big, it's impossible to
Faster Yuki って書いてあるよ。
Faster, Yuki!
でもさ、こう
Oh, that looks
こういう
like...
感じ
Yeah, I've seen
だ
that
よね。
before. Yeah. I've seen that in calligraphy before. We can bring up that website from the other day. Let's see.
そうターボモードになるともうここがね止まっていられず突き抜けていってしまいます。本当
Yeah,
はダ
everything
メだ
just
け
goes
ど
a single
ね。
line. Really, you're not allowed to do it, but
そう
but of
ここ
course,
で
that's
本
what
当は
happens.
突き抜けちゃう。
If we take a look at like the super calligraphy version, you see it all gets connected. This stroke here in particular gets connected, and these get connected. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
もはやなんかない下。
It doesn't even look like, what is that? Looks like a mountain on the bottom. Yeah. Regular
なくしちゃったん
calligraphy.
だね。
Regular calligraphy, I guess, is this one, which is the one she wrote earlier. But technically,
ね
this one's quite nice.
What
But this one is impossible.
website という
Well, the website is Kanji Jitennon. This is actually where we get the worksheets that were popping up on the website for you guys as well. They have an agreement to allow people to use these. You can make custom ones as well if you'd like. You can add words you want and stuff, and it adds the. So this is where we get those, and it also shows you what it might look like in different writings. This is what it's on, like on hankos, on stamps, things like that. Quite a useful site.
こんな感じだよね。なんかお急ぎで書くとき。
So when you're drawing fast.
そうここがね、もうここで止まってからここチチチチチチチって言ってこうくっついてっちゃうんだねこれ。
They get stuck together.
ね。こうチチチチって言ってこうくっついていきます。
So. Ne. All right, so to write this one, there's a couple ways you could go about it. You could use the verb to write and then delete the ku, so kaku, and then delete the ku because it comes out with the okurigana. Kaku and delete the ku, kaku, for the quiz. Of course, on the quiz, also, I generally give people credit if they put the whole word, like it's not a big deal. So if you write kaku, that's perfectly fine. And yeah, sho. Sho might get it for you. It's the number 3 for me, sho, with a chisai yo. With a small yo. Sho, space. Sho gets shoko no sho first, and then start. But then the third one is usually right for me.
書行の書じゃないけど、
shobun? Shobun か。
書道の書でしょ。
書道これ？あ、そっか。処方箋じゃない？
処方箋の書は違う書だよ。ところっていう字。
あれ？同じじゃない？処方箋違うか。How do you write 処方箋？
処方箋合ってるよ。これです。
Right, so the first one is, that is the second one that shows up for me. ほら。
ああ。
The second one that shows up is 処方箋。
って意味ね。
The show is the, yeah, when I type show, the second one that shows up is the word in the one in 処方箋 I'm saying.
はい。
Yeah, okay.
失礼しました。
Anyway, we had a bit of a communication miss there. Anyway, okay, so those are the ones you can write for this one. We will jump back over here. Yuki's going to work on Tyler's name in kanji. Thank you so much again, Tyler. Appreciate that, and congratulations again on passing. I still struggle with different fonts in the kana characters. I can't handle this extra calligraphy. Yeah. It's just giving you an idea. Definitely don't write it. Like, don't practice that or anything. It's just to give you an idea of what it might look like if you see it in handwriting. All right. Here we go. Right over here, we have a kanji that means right, but not that right, not that meaning, like on the right. The official radical for right is mouth for some reason. Perhaps because it's sort of to the right of the other part? It's a little odd to me though, because the parts are left hand and... and yeah, to go jump back into the question, there was someone, who was it Kaylee that asked that? Besides saying you did it. Are the JLPT exams good for anything? I think that they're good for 2 things, probably. I think some people have already answered some questions. For example, Amanda said, my goal is to be able to tell parents that I can teach their kids Japanese to a certain level of proficiency because I have passed a certain level of tests. I hope to teach homeschoolers. That is a good goal. And yeah, so for getting jobs and stuff, it can help in Japan as well if you have N2 and above. Another thing is, like, the reason I took N3 when I did, it was in my first year, I think, yeah, I had been studying for like a year and I took N3. The reason I did it is because I went really hard for the first few months, like 3 to 6 months, and I went too hard, so I started to fall off. So I needed something to aim at just to keep me going. So it can be a good, like a good goalpost to, like, or a good flag to aim for as a goal. So it gives you something to sort of, base your studies around and just to keep you motivated. And it can be somewhat of a good marker to see how much you understand to an extent. Obviously, it's a test, and if your test-taking skills are like very poor or like really, really good, it might not necessarily indicate your actual level of Japanese. But yeah, it can give you sort of an idea of what your level is like, and also it gives you something to aim at. But absolutely not like required or anything. All right, Taida, I don't know if you're still here. Congratulations again. Yuki has written your name in kanji. So we're going to zoom in on that.
ました。そう結構ねタイラが結構日本人にもいる名前なので。
There's quite a few. Yeah, Taida, excuse me, is actually quite a common name in Japan.
コモンじゃないけど結構男の子には人気が。
for guys. Yeah, I had a student or two maybe that were called Taida.
タイラくん。
だってタイラくん is
そうだよね。タイラくん
right over there.
はい。じゃあタイラくんのタイラ、まあ同じ漢字かわかんないけどね。
It's not, but yeah.
はい。タイラのタイとラっていう字は両方良いっていう字なんですけど、2つの漢字で分けました。
right. Both kanji mean good.
そう。で、このタイっていう字はちょっと難しいんですけど、タイとラね、漢字がね。で、タイっていう字はちょっと難しいんですけど、この良いっていう意味とpeaceful とか、calm とか、
peaceful
そうそう、結構縁起のいい。
It's a difficult, rare kanji, but somewhat rare.
はい。で、ラは、さっきもブラッドさんにも使ったんですけど、良いという字でラと読みます。
Ra is the kanji for yoi or good, e. Yeah, so you'll see that one quite a bit, I imagine. But that's the one we're using for Tyler. Thank you very much again.
ありがとうございます。
At the end of February, I will have completed 6 months of daily study. Congratulations, that's super awesome. All right. Thank you again, Taida. Appreciate that.
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。Thank you that answered my question and abated some pressure and anxiety I felt about the test. Yeah, don't it's definitely not necessary. If you hate taking tests, there's no reason to push yourself to take it.
まあ私もね、hate taking
Yuki also hates tests. When I went to take the N1 last year, some of you may have seen the little short that I'm taking on. Yuki was so annoyed at me because she's like, why are you so like relaxed? And like, I'm just going to grab like I forgot a pen. I'm going to go buy a pen at the convenience store. She's like, why aren't you more prepared? I'm like, I don't like when on test day, I'm just like, I pretend that it doesn't matter to me. Even if it does, like it's whatever. It doesn't matter. I could pass. I could fail. It doesn't, no effect on me. Of course I want to, but I'm able to sort of deceive myself into thinking I don't care, and I just relax and take it easy, and that's how I've always done really good on tests. And that was the first time she'd ever encountered something like that. She was very confused.
もしかしてさ、歯医者が嫌いな人はテストも嫌いかな?
Last year we were talking about dentists, and she's saying she wonders if people who hate going to the dentist hate tests as well. She wonders if there's like I feel like there is not a correlation there, but anyway. Okay, we were in the middle of right. So let's continue with that. Though historically, the part, and you guys can let us know in chat if there is a correlation between disliking going to the dentist and disliking taking tests. So we're right hand, or what we learned as again, and mouth. All the more reason for me to expect this. Ali, I didn't even take the N5 or the N4. I just went straight to the N3. So if you'd like to do that, that's perfectly fine. This to be the official radical, but it is what it is. There are 5 strokes in right. Normally, the left hand part is written horizontal stroke, followed by the no part. But normally as in when it's in other kanji. For the kanji right, it's written no part first and horizontal one part second. This can be confusing for some, but I like to think start on the right, like start over here on the right and pull back at the top of the no part for the kanji right, and start on the left, or start on the left for left. So for right, we start over here on the right, and right like this, and then left has the same part on top, but we start on the left for left. So I think that's a good way to remember it. Come to Japan Dan, I don't know if you're still here, but in the chat during this video, Stargumi said, "Excellent job, Come to Japan Dan." The horizontal stroke for the kanji left. But that's our next kanji, so I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway, we'll get into... Brady thinks that the correlation between disliking going to the dentist and test taking might just be anxiety. So why the stroke order is different for left and right in a moment. After we finish the left hand overhang part on the top, we draw the mouth part underneath and sometimes connected to the no part, though in official diagrams this is not the case.
Right, so like here you can see it's not connected, but they often appear. But in the font over here, like it's very clearly connected, so it's just one of the quirks of fonts. Here to be connected in computer fonts, though. Originally, right was the kanji we learned as again. And interestingly, this is the same hand from, it looks like the same hand from right, the one we just learned. Just that part. You may remember my rant about how it may have actually made sense to learn that kanji part as right hand. Well, that's because originally it was the kanji for right. Around 2,700 years ago, during the Western Zhou dynasty,
A crazy
a
long time
mouth
ago.
was added for some reason. And we got something closer to, it really was like 3,000 years ago, I think, the modern form. I found explanations stating that this indicated showing someone support with words, which meant this character also had a meaning of to help. And another explanation suggested this was a pictograph of covering one's mouth with their right hand. I like the historical version for one reason only. The image is much clearer in its meaning of right, because it looks like a right hand on the right side of mouth. For our story, we're using the modern part names we learned and saying, my left-hand man is here. But since this is the kanji for right, we start on the right and draw no first. The right side of the brain is colloquially known to deal with creativity, so perhaps it's responsible for talking through the mouth. Sure. Sure. Yeah, Amanda, I also had difficulties at times. Like when I played Undertale live on stream on this channel, I started it in Japanese, and I had it was a nightmare for me to try and read that kana. Mm-hmm. Now I've played a bunch of games on my DS and stuff which have that kind of katakana in them, or in hiragana. So I've gotten used to reading that. But when I first played that game, Undertale, this is like 4 years ago, I couldn't read it. Like I struggled on those streams. I was like, holy crap. Like I know I could improve my Japanese, but I didn't realize it was this bad. That's how I felt. But it was just really hard to read that old sort of arcadey style hiragana and katakana style. So yeah, like switching back and forth between the different fonts and styles, some of them look so different. It can be very, very difficult. And in the end, it's just a matter of getting a lot of exposure to lots of different types of writing. And I know for some people, like for some kids, it'll be even harder. Like some kids just have a difficulty with that even in their own native language. So it can be very, very difficult. But I think it's something that everyone struggles with to a degree, for sure. Right. Okay. We're going to write through the mouth. Sure. Okay. So.
Hi.
Popping over to the.
Hi.
To the board.
Hi.
Oh, we have to zoom back out.
Hi. じゃあ右書きますよ。ここね。
See you later, Allie.
ありがとう。
It's a long video today, so yeah, the quiz is a little bit late. Sorry.
来てくれてありがとうございます。
Excuse me.
はい。
Oh, Yuki's is almost connected there. Interesting. I always have a hard time balancing this next part, right? It's way too far down. Yeah, that looks terrible.
いや、いいんじゃないですか?
I like to put it a little bit more up there. That's better.
はい。ね、こっちから書くのがね、結構難しいよね。
So it's a little bit difficult. It's a little bit easier to draw left, I think, or to make it look right. I've gotten the 4 cardinal directions down, but to my chagrin, Japanese has unique words for the other 4 middle directions. Yeah, it uses the Chinese readings for the other ones. But they're all pretty much the same as in English. It's just that they use the Chinese readings instead of the cardinal directions themselves use the Japanese readings, I believe. So like kita is the Japanese reading, but then when you combine it with like east, it becomes hoku, tohoku. So they use the Chinese readings because they're jukugo, they're compounds. Compound words generally speaking use the Chinese readings, so that's what happens there.
もう一回書く?
まあスピードモードでね。
はい。
Turbo Yuki. We need like an animation to pop off when Yuki does turbo mode. Yeah, it looks the same.
今 回の漢字は全然さ、あれだね、ターボしない。
Yeah, it doesn't really look any different with turbo. Are there any animators out there that wanna build us a little stream animation where we can have like a Yuki emoji flashing across the screen? Amanda, thank you so much for gifting a ToKini Andy membership. Thank you very much to Brady P. Appreciate that. And congratulations, Brady, on getting the gifted membership. Thank you so much. Please let us know if there's a name you'd like us to write, Amanda. I know we've written your name before. Appreciate that. But if you'd like us to try another version of your name and see if Yuki gets the same exact one again, absolutely welcome to go with that. If there's a name you'd like us to write other than your own, let us know.
Hi.
All right. Yeah, turbo mode doesn't really change much, eh? To type this one,
この口くらいかな。あとこっちのキュってやつは一回戻る。
it sort of curves up. We haven't. Okay. I could have sworn we had. Okay, maybe not. Maybe we did the Amanda for a different name, a different Amanda before. I can't remember. Anyway, we'll go with Amanda then. So thank you so much. Appreciate that.
はい。
All
あり
right.
がとうございます。
So the word I would go for here is definitely just migi. the word for right. Migi. If that doesn't come up first for you, I definitely don't know what you've been writing. Anyway, it means one who must be loved. 愛に関係する字を使えたらと思います。
アマンダさんね。
そうそうそう。
はい、了解です。
はい。Request accepted. She will. That'll actually make life easier for her. I think she can already know what to pick the first or second kanji for. If I weren't swapped in commissions, I'd take you up on that request. I dabble in animation as a hobby. Ooh, nice. Well, if you ever get unswamped, let us know. We'd probably be willing to pay for something like that. 左折。右折右折だよね。右折。
そうそう、右折。
右is 右折。
Turn
Yeah,
right.
oo can be a reading of this as well. I don't think that's going to show up first for you. It doesn't show up for a while. Didn't I? 19番. Oo shows up in the 21st reading. Well, now it shows up first for me. I'm sorry, you might have mentioned it already, but didn't we do left and right before? We did not. We did left hand. And that was the part on top of this. The part on top of this is left hand. It means left hand. So we've done that before. And I talked about a little bit earlier in this part here. I believe right around here. I talk about how it is what it is. There are 5. I can't remember. Maybe right here. We learned this part as again, but originally this used to mean right hand. So we've learned left hand and right hand as parts, but we have not learned the kanji yet for right and left. So, yeah. So the reading, the best way to type this will definitely be migi, but oo might show up for some of you first.
ね、この次の左をやれば左右になるけど。
Hey, Grammy. How you doing?
Hi.
Oh, Grammy. Boone is popping up, so Grammy might be way behind. Well, let's see. Make sure to hit the live button so that you're up to the moment for when we get to the quiz. All right, so moving on to our next part. Oops, I didn't bring the screen up again. There we go. Sure. Our final part for today is quite simple in its construction. It means construction. Construction is its own radical. Of course, we're just learning this. Some people mentioned that they learned this one as craft. I believe Genki does this as... Someone asked, who is this? I forgot to answer this question a few minutes ago. Probably quite a while ago. If you're still here, let me know. But someone asked why I chose this order to teach instead of the Genki order. And if the person who asked that is still in chat, let me know. I forgot to check the name when I read the question. Video auto is a bit hot. Interesting. Like too loud. Okay, it was Amanda. Okay. Yeah, so for starters, I don't like the Genki order very much. It seems very haphazard and random.
And despite them claiming that Genki 1 covers N5 and Genki 2 covers N4, there's a bunch of kanji from like outside of N5 within the Genki kanji lists. And there's no like rhyme or reason to the order. For example, like it would not make sense to learn the last kanji right before learning the kanji for mouth. Now, I don't know if Genki teaches those in a different order, where like they teach left first and then mouth later. I don't know if they do that, but they do stuff like that. So, and most kanji lists do. So I want to teach kanji in a way that you can use the kanji you've learned previously as building blocks for future kanji. So I chose the order mostly based on what we needed to build the next kanji. So starting from simplest and getting more and more complicated until we have all the parts we need for each kanji that we learn after that. But I also tried to sort of combine like similar meaning kanji or like related kanji together. Like in this lesson, we have a book, right, and literary arts. Like, so I put those together and I put left and right together, and I tried to put like the elements together, things like that. So I tried to keep individual lessons sort of thematic, but also the parts, like the building blocks, one at a time. So we made the order based on that. Okay. And also Yuki has your name.
Hi.
Thank you again, Amanda, for the gifted membership.
ありがとうございます。ちょっとこちらの漢字になりました。
はい。お願いします。
はい。アマンダさんは3文字で漢字、あと、マンとダにしました。
いいね。
で、あはそのご希望があった、
はい、
愛という字を使わせていただいて。
The very first kanji there is I.
はい。
Or love. I should have said what the meaning is in English. The first kanji is the kanji for love.
はい。で、マンはこれ満ちるっていう字で、いっぱいになるとか、
to become full, or to become
to feel full って感じ。
or to feel full, in a good way.
で、だはこれ、この字であんまりだと読まないんだけど、雫っていう感じで、
It's like a drop of water, a drop of rain.
そう。
It's not often read as da, but you can read it that way for a name. So you've got love being full, feeling full, and then drops of rain.
はい。で、アマンダにしました。
Amanda. Very nice.
はい。
That's a cool name. All right, there you go. All right, and thank you again. Let's go ahead and zoom out on this.
はい、ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much. Same, Chris. Same. Says, oh, I always confuse Miggy with Ishi. Yeah, I could see that. They look very, very similar. This is a radical, so don't worry about that too much. That's why having stories and learning the parts separately helps, because it's very clear that the left-hand part is different from cliff, which is technically the top of stone, although it looks a little different than the cliff part. But you would never, like, if you knew that was a stone rolling down the cliff, that's what that image was, you wouldn't think left-hand mouth. You would think a cliff and mouth. We'll also consider it, that just, shows how stories and learning the parts individually, one at a time in order, it's only part. There are 3 strokes in construction. We start with the horizontal stroke on top. Draw a vertical stroke from right around the middle of the first stroke, and then draw the horizontal stroke connected to that vertical stroke below. Keep in mind that while in computer font this final stroke looks to be identical in length to the first stroke, looks kind of like the katakana same lengths, but in actual writing, the bottom stroke is much longer. Writing, this one is supposed to be a bit longer. Though apparently the origin of this kanji is not fully known, some explanations suggest that it's the image of 2 sheets of wood with holes cut in the middle and a peg stuck through them. So you've got like the boards viewed from the side, I guess, and then this is a nail going through them. I can see that in most of these, but apparently this peg has wings, and this one, good luck getting that peg through any holes. Someone mentioned this looks kind of like a screw. I can't remember if it was Kaylee or Amanda. Looks like a screw going through, like maybe a screw. So that could work. I could see that. I could see this as being like, those white things that you put in the wall before you put a screw or nail in to hold it in tighter. I don't know if any of you guys have done any construction, but there's like a thing you add into the wall to keep the screw in place better. I could see that as being that, but I don't know why they would have had that 1,000 years ago. It was Kaylee? What it looks like to me, though, is an
I-beam. So our story is, girder is another word for these. There used to be a giant one of these I-beams, or a girder, out behind my dad's house where he used to live. And all of the neighborhood kids would get together and just hang out sitting on top of this thing for like hours. We'd do like campfires next to it and stuff till like 11 o'clock at night. I was like 11. Why was it out till 11 o'clock at night on an I-beam at 11 years old? Anyway, this is an I-beam, an anchor, extremely important part of construction. Here on, and I should mention, I don't know if I mentioned in the video actually, that this is actually a kanji. Like, it is a kanji. You'll see it in like a, what's a good word? Koji? Koji, like a building. So it's a very common...
Koji wa construction. Work.
Yeah, work. Construction work. For example. So you will see it a lot, but it is not N5 or Kanken 10, so we just left it as a part for now. On the left, we see our next kanji. The only one left. It means left, but not the second. I guess so, 5 times left there. I could see that. Left, I said.
Jinko, yeah,
there you go. First left, I said. Huh? Anyway, the official radical for left is construction, and the parts are left hand and construction. There are 5 strokes in left. We draw the left hand part in its standard order, and this really is the left hand part, both now and historically. We start from the left on the first horizontal stroke, and then draw the no part through it. That part overhangs or encloses the 3 strokes in the construction part beneath it. The original kanji for left was apparently just the top part of the modern kanji, which we learned as left hand, and construction was added later as a part without adding any meaning to the kanji as a whole, just like the kanji for right, actually. Another explanation I read suggested that the kanji was an ideograph.
I didn't know until this series that I had a thing for puns. I had no idea. Just sort of naturally developed.
Representing using the left hand to hold a peg or tool of some sort that you're working with. If we look at the kanji for right and left together, though, it honestly looks like both the mouth...
By the way, this is left and this is right.
Part in right and this construction part in left were just added so that they could put the hand part on either the right or left side of that meaningless part.
Yeah, so it is mentioned that these parts, they don't add any meaning. There's no like reason for them to be there historically that they can find. But I don't know, like, the historians for kanji seem to all disagree on a million different things, and they're like, oh, we don't know why this is here. It has no meaning, but it could be, maybe it was blah, blah, blah. I mean, anyone looks at this and it's like, well, this one means left, right? And this one means right, right? And these parts have no meaning. So, like, what do you think? I have a feeling, I don't know, just like a hunch, that this one where the hand is always on the left side, like, that's probably to indicate that left, right? And this one with the ones on the right, probably right. I don't know what's so confusing about that, but historians seem to have trouble with it.
For our story, we're going with, since this
specifically kanji historians
is left, our left-hand man can be drawn normally. Since the left side of the brain is more logical and analytical, it's clearly more fit for engineering and construction. Thus, the I-beam.
All right, very good. Let's go ahead and get this one drawn down. Apparently, I'm ready to be a father because I've got the father humor down. Glad to hear it. All right, so let's go ahead and see how Yuki's left. One thing to notice here is that in the chart on the video, so you know how on right you start up here on the right, and on the left you start on the left here. You might notice that at least in the charts, I don't know how it looks in handwriting exactly. The horizontal line is shorter, and the no is much longer for left, whereas with right it's a shorter no and a longer horizontal stroke. So that's interesting on the charts. Anyway.
ね、だけど書けば同じだと思うんです。
そうだね. They look the same when you write them.
はい。
Thanks for the recommendation, Amanda. Yeah, when you write it, they look pretty much the same.
はい。どうでしょうか?
Nope, just kidding. It's a little bit too low down,
いいんじゃないですか?
but not bad.
とてもフォンティ。
とてもフォンティだね。はい。とてもフォンティ as most second learners are. Baby Andy with a kira kira name. Yes, indeed.
ね、この右とは本当に違くないよね。なんか違くないっていう言い方がなんか日本語間違えてるけど、同じ
何が？
同じ。だって形がさ、普通のハンドライティングだと、右と左って全く同じサイズにあるじゃないですか。これも。あ、でも、
But not
こっ
really.
ちの方が短いのか。これが長くなることは難しいのかな。
So I think, yeah, right. So this is right, eh? And
そうそう。
so I think in writing, yeah, the no does become longer since you're writing it second than the one in right. So that's interesting.
そうだ、この最初のなんかホリゾンタルラインがあれだよね。
ならならしかしかない。Would you be willing to write Migi and Hidari side by side? I think she was writing the tops and bottoms here. Go ahead. Could you write right there? So we've got left. Let's see right. Oh yeah.
こういう感じですよね。
So you can see like the bottom of construction is sort of almost on the same plane as the end of the no here, whereas the circle, the mouth in right is quite below, and that's partially because the no is definitely a little bit shorter, and the horizontal line is a bit longer.
それさ、ちょっとさ意味分かったわ。この左ってさ、これを書いてから、このつながりがね。チチチチチチチってきて、こっちがさこうやってきてから、チチチチチチはここに来るじゃないですか。ここね、ここだけどさ、こっちはここにシュッてきてから、そうそう、チチチチチはここに来るから、そう、こことここは結構一緒の長さだけど位置が違うってことだよね。
So it's a matter of where your hand is being moved.
ここがこうやってくるときとここがこうやってくるときってことだよね。
So that's why it becomes shorter. Interesting. All right. I hope I was showing that on screen the whole time. Yeah, okay, I was. Thank goodness. We got to get a turbo mode, Yuki, for
はい。
for left.
ターボしていきたいと思います。でもターボモード、今日はほとんど変わりなしのターボ。
This one also won't be too different. Oh well. It almost looks like English for some reason. That first stroke.
変わりなしのターボ。
変わりなしって言えないと思うけど。
変わりなしターボ。
Okay, that's like a small F, and this one is like.
スタイリッシュじゃない。
It's quite stylish, yeah. No change.
このなんて言うんですか、こういうやつあるじゃないですか。この英語の。
That's why I said it looks kind of like English.
ね、この英語のこういうやつなんて言うんでしたっけ？
Is that F?
F?
I can't remember what it is. I think it's F.
F ですか、これは。
I can't remember script very well. Would the onomatopoeia for the dashed strokes be? That would be it. That's it.
ね、このさ、ね、この点線の部分ね、チッチッチッチッチッチッ。
I can't remember if this is F or S. I can't help but feel like Yuki is risking prison drawing kanji that turbo. A little bit too fast. Speeding. At least a speeding ticket.
これね、マジで切られちゃうチケット。これなんか
lowercase f. It is lowercase f. Okay, yeah. Well, that's something different. That's a different one. I think the first one, yeah. Amanda says lowercase f. It's lowercase f, I think.
Yeah. lowercase f か。
I teach my kids cursive. Yeah, I learned it when I was 25 years younger, probably. All right, so that's good to go. To type this one, we'll use the word for left, which is hidari.
F の
Cursive F plus
そうそう、絵が
plus an I-beam or an A. Hidari will get you the kanji to pop up. If you want to get both to show up right away, you can write sayu. Sayu gets left and right. So when you tell someone to look left and right, you use the word sayu. And car navigators, what do you call it? Car navi. What do you call those things?
Car navigation.
Not in English. No, I mean in English. Like what is the name of that thing? The maps device in cars in the front. In Japanese, we just call it a navi.
カーナビだよね。カ
I
ーナ
can't
ビ。
remember what it's called in English. Anyway, GPS. That's it. GPS.
それか。そのちっの方ね。
So the whole device is a navi. It's like, you know, the music, all that. We call the whole thing navi. But anyway, when it tells you to turn, it's going to use the things that Dan's been showing you. Usetsu and sasetsu.
うんそうそ
So
う
it
そう
says
そ
to
う。
turn. That means to turn left or turn right. Sasetsu is turn left, and usetsu
うん
is to turn right. So when there's a right turn over there, make sure you turn right at the right turn. Usetsu. That's what that's called. Anyway.
そう。まあまだねその節ってじゃやってないんですけど、to break という折れるという。
Yeah, to break right or to break
So-
left. That means to turn left and right. Anyway, we'll cover that eventually. But sayu is a fun one to get both of the kanji to show up. Sayu. You'll see this one when people tell you to look left and right before crossing the road. They use the word sayu. So you can get both kanji to show up with that, or you can just use hidari to get left, which is what you will need for the quiz, which is what is coming up right. The only thing left for me to say is make sure to get subscribed. The button should be down there. If you don't subscribe, I'm coming for you, sis. On the left. At least in January of 2024. What's the hiragana for that word left and right? That would be sayu.
はい。
Right. Over there? Over there? I
あ
can't
これは
remember.
ノット曲がりますという質問が。
No. Usually they use, on the car navigations, they use the jukugo. Sasetsu suru. So suru. But you can say migi e magarimasu. You can, of course, say that. Like, there's nothing wrong with that at all. You can absolutely use the verb. But a lot of times people will end up using the suru words. Which brings us to the Lesson 17 quiz. In this section of the video, I'll show you a flashcard with the English meaning for a kanji. Pause the video when we show each card and try to remember how to write that kanji. Next, write it on your hand with your finger or on a piece of paper. Then press play and see if you were right. The best way to remember kanji you just learned is to search your memory for the story we taught you, or the one you made based on the English word on the flashcard. Our first card is all good,
Book.
Kaylee. Book. That's the first one for today. Book. Hopefully the baby doesn't wake up. But hayai. And meets the fish. And meets the fish is in first. Al-Sabi in second. Do in third. Kaylee in fourth. Amanda in fifth. Montana Margo in sixth. Brad in seventh. Morbid Blessing in eighth. Kia in ninth. Chris Jackson in 10th, Wizard in 11th, Five-Toed Sloth Bear in 12th, and Come to Japan is in 13th with a full word. I always get, I always trip on Chris Jackson because my roommate in college, his name was Chris Jackson with only the one S, but yeah, I had a roommate named Chris Jackson, so I always stop. And, because your picture, it's quite small, I can almost see him in the picture, so I'm always like, what? But I know it's not him, but... I forgot we were supposed to do this quickly. It doesn't have to be quickly. You can take your time. For real? Yeah, no, it's for real. For real. My roommate. I had quite a few roommates, but yes. Anyway, you guys were all correct. There it is. Book from a fluorescent worm in the ground right there. A tree springs up. The origin of all trees. The original tree. And from that tree hang books. The origin of our knowledge. By the way, the book on the tree, it's a bunch of books called, I believe they are they the grass clipper books, or are they the books that the salesman sells? I can't remember. I'm sorry, Chris Jackson. I am for... Oh, yeah, there's that, too. I missed the fun. I am for real. How do you actually say that? Yggdrasil. That was a location in that game. Akea, the text mud that I used to play. That was a place you could go. It was a very difficult place. Anyway. It was also in Dragon Quest. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get us out a random one. We'll have you Yggdrasil. Okay, yeah.
難しいやつでもいいの先週の。
Yuki's gonna pick. Oh, does she already have one chosen? That's not random. Anything is okay, hon. Let's see what we got. Oh, okay. That was not that bad. Oh, she didn't like it very much, but that's what we're getting. Here we go.
はい。
Bamboo. Bamboo is the first one. Akea or Achia. I used to call it Achia, but I think it's Akea.
早い。
Hayai. All right. First place is Aosabi. Endy's Fish in second. Kaylee in third. Laney the Clown in fourth. Kia in fifth. Five-Toed Sloth Bear in sixth. Amanda in seventh. Chris Jackson. Not quite. That's Kodomo. Come to Japan Dan in eighth.
はい。
Taketombo. いいですね。
そうバブね。いきな
Oh,
り来ると
Montana Mario in ninth. Very good, very good. Yeah, the best way to type this one, for those of you who are not remembering it quite well, is
たけ
take, 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 take.
ね。お
Morbid Blessing gets 10th place. Nice and
はーい。
safe. All right. And Ro is in the 11th. Amanda in 12th. And yes, take indeed. 13th for Chris, my old roommate. All right. I just got back. Oh, hey. Next is Left. Welcome, Bradley. Brady. Left is our next one. Left. Oh, ho, ho. Hi. And meets the fish in first. Aosabi in second. Lame the Clown trying to reduce my latency, but when it catches up, YouTube snaps back a few seconds. YouTube has caught on to my shenanigans. Montana Margo in third. Kia in fourth. Ro in fifth. Five-Toed Sloth Bear in sixth. Unlike the name. Kaylee in seventh. Come to Japan Dan in
Sayu.
eighth. Sayu. Amanda, that is correct, but you gotta hit the space bar. Sweckle, welcome to the quiz in, what are we at now? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th. Morbid Blessing in 10th. Amanda in 11th. Chris Jackson in 12th. I forgot to enter. And Brady in 13th. Good job.
Hi.
Let's go ahead and see what we got. Since this is left, our left-hand man can be drawn normally. Since the left side of the brain is more logical and analytical, it's clearly more fit for engineering and construction. Thus, the I-beam. I just can't typo on my phone. That is valid. All right, I'm going to pick the next one. Let's hope it's a difficult one. There's a lot of cards in this pumpkin.
出た
It's definitely not difficult. Let's see what we can get. Ba-bum. Heaven. Heaven is our next one. Heaven. Yeah, phone definitely takes a little bit longer, unless you're super fast, like Aosabi there in first place with Heaven. And meets the fish in second. Kia in third. Brady in fourth. Kaylee in fifth. Chris Jackson in sixth. Ro in seventh. Five-Toed Sloth Bear in eighth. Come Japan Dan gets Heaven in ninth. Amanda Nordstrom in 10th. Lamey the Clown in 11th. Montana Margo in 12th. Very good job, guys. More Blessing in 13th.
Hi.
That is indeed 10. 10.
ね
Heaven.
天ぷらの天だよ
Yeah, that's also Heaven Pura.
プラなんですかね
Tempura is just hiragana. Heaven Pura. Heaven Pura. Tempura is delicious. Kusat says Aosabi. All right, let's see what the next regular quiz one is. Just a few more. Here's right. That breading is heavenly. I agree. And meets the fish gets there in first. Brady's laughing, but Aosabi gets there in second. Montana Margo in third. Kia in fourth. Ro in fifth. Kaylee in sixth. More Blessing in eighth. Come to Japan Dan. Oh, I don't know if I can count that one since it comes next. Let's have a meeting. Should we count Sayu as correct?
ああそうですよね先ほども
We'll go with it. 8th. Sweekle in 9th. Chris Jackson in 10th. Oh, Amanda, you got to switch your keyboard back. Brady in, what are we at? 11th now? 11th. Five-Toed Sloth Bear in 12th. And Amanda in 13th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 4. Yusa. That sounds like someone's carrying a nomikoshi. Yusa.
まあ本当はそうやって読まないからね
Right. We don't actually read
間違
it
え
like
ちゃ
that.
うからそれじゃあ
Anyway, on my left-hand man is here, but since this is the kanji for right, we start on the right and draw no first. The right side of the brain is colloquially known to deal with creativity, so perhaps it's responsible for talking through the mouth. That sounded like Sesame Street. I considered using Sayu, but I didn't want to get called out. So yeah. Indeed. All right, let's go ahead and see what our next random one is. Get that off the screen for a second.
Hi.
Boom.
いきますよ
Yuki's picking this one. She's hoping for something hard. Let's see what she... Oh, she got 2. I guess she can pick one. Oh.
はい
Super easy. Let's see what we get.
はい
Noon. I thought it said moon, but it's not moon. It's noon.
ヌーンです
The moon's up at noon.
ヌーン
Noon.
ヌーン
Oi. 大丈夫、大丈夫。And meets the fish is, oh, Brady tries to get there, but it's that's actually spring. And meets the fish in first, Ro in second, Ki in third. Amanda gets there with the full gogo in fourth. Come Japan Dan, not quite. He's going to take a nap. Montana Margo is in 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth. Morbid Blessing in sixth. Five-Toed Sloth Bear in seventh. Come Japan Dan gets there as well in eighth. Kaylee in ninth. And Sweckle, wasureta.
ブラディさんもブラディさんも待ってってなってる。
待って Matte. Says Chris Jackson, I believe, is in ninth there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th. 10th is Chris Jackson, and Brady is in 11th. Yeah. To type this one, I can't remember what we went with. To type this one. Probably Gogo and minus.
あ、牛の人がいますね。
Ushi, trying to get the Ushi through. Probably Gogo and then minus. Delete. Gogo, then delete after you get the kanji to show up. It's probably the easiest way for this word. All right. Let's see what's next. And then there's literary arts. Literary arts. Can I get a drink? Nope.
あれ
どうした？
リテラリーアーツがさ、クイズに、あ、そうか。
Yeah, we taught it as a kanji. Hi, M meets the fish in first. Awasabi in second. Montana Margo in third. Kia in fourth. Kaylee in fifth. Ro in sixth. Brady in seventh. Amanda in eighth. And Five-Toed Sloth Bear in ninth. With Come Japan Dan popping in there at 10th with Bunka. Amanda was there with Bungaku. Bunka is culture. And Bungaku is literary arts. Oh, I don't know the reading. Yeah. The easiest one to get this one to show up is boom. Boom. And once again, we never teach the readings here. We're teaching words for them eventually, but we do teach you how to, quote, type it, which would get you a reading, of course. Oh, boon doesn't... Oh, right. Boon. Boon should be the first one to show up for you.
私もちょっと引っかかってしまいました。文がリテラリーアーツだっていうことにちょっとコネクションを失っていましたよ。
She lost the connection. Hi, literary arts can make anything sound artistic. Put a pot lid on some grass clippers and you've got yourself a literary masterpiece.
やばい、その本書くって言ったのにね。
The little grass clippers that could. Yes, Yuki said that she would write this book for us, so there it is.
何のストーリーがあるのかな、本当。ちょっと気になります。
So the minute one, or to divide. We will be learning that one eventually, obviously, if we haven't already. No, we haven't yet, right? That may show up first for some of you. It shows up third for me. Boon will probably be third or first, depending on what it is. Bunsho. Yes, that's another one. All right, I believe I'm next for our random one.
私も今日ワンブン拾いました。キッチンの床で。
This one shows up every week. It is one of my favorite, but it shows up every week, so we're not going to do that one today.
Every week 出てるやつがある？
そう、前。All right. This one is mingle. Mingle. Single and ready to mingle. Immersion stories. Immersion stories for kanji that features potlet and grass clippers. Yeah, something like that. She's gonna just try and write us a book for the immersion section for the little grass clippers that could. Mingle. Boom, boom, boom.
みんな早い。
Oh, nice. Oh, but what? Yeah, okay, good. Brady gets there in first. Come Japan Dan gets Koryu だよね。Come Japan Dan in second. Kia in third. And meets the fish in fourth. Amanda Nordstrom in 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth. Morbid Blessing in sixth. Wow, my keyboard freaked.
Oh.
Close. This part does show up in Gakko, but not quite. Wasureteta, says Ro-san. So, the best way to write this one is probably what? Ko?
そう、こう。
Ko.
だけど、マジ。
Ko. So,
マジで。
majiru.
マジル
can also get it for you. Maji. Or just maji. And then delete. But that is a hard one to remember how to type for sure. So, once again, another reason we will be learning words with this, like ko. Nandake. What were the words that we used for this that we're going to be teaching for this one? こ
うじゃない。あ、交差点のこう。
交差点, for example, is a crossing, but I don't think we learn ten or sa in N5, so.
こう。マジじゃなかった。マジだけでやったんじゃない。
I think only majiru is N5.
So that's probably the only word we learned for this one in this section. So we'll learn the other readings in later sections. I couldn't remember. I knew how to write it. I should figure out if something I will have to do pen input. Yeah, you can do pen input as well. That's definitely a doable one. That would be the best way, but not everyone has a pen tablet to write on. So. All right, back over to the video. Let's see what's next. Finally, we have right. Right. Process of elimination should get a bunch of people there fast. I cheated, said Alsavi. Alsavi cheated in first and meets the fish in second. Montana Margot in third. Kia in fourth. Nice job, guys. You're going fast. Oh, in fifth. Brady in sixth. Amanda in seventh. Chris Jackson's back on the right side, but Cozy, welcome to the quiz. In 8th, Kaylee in 9th, Five-Toed Sloth Bear in 10th, Chris Jackson in 11th. Hi. Hello World, long time no see, in 12th. Haha, Kake Nice is Come to Japan Dan in 13th, and Morbid Blessing is in 15th. All right, very good job. Let's see what that one looks like. The brush writes down things according to others. Write me like one of your French novels. Darn latency. I was in 4th on my end. So close. Sorry, Jess. All good.
インターネットのスペックのみが問題になってるの、ここで。
そうだな。
かわいそうに。
あと、世界のどこにいるか。もう結構変わりますね。
この時にアンディのライブストリームを見るために徐々にね、日本側に引っ越さなきゃいけない。
Everyone's got to move over to Japan so that they can get first place in the quiz. Although Grammy's all the way on the other side of the world, and she's been getting 3rd place lately, which is quite amazing. Nice job, Montana Margot. はい。Last one is Yuki.
あれ？あ、そっか。ミンゴは私じゃなかったっけ？
そう、ミンゴは俺だった。
ああ。今見てた。
She didn't like that one. All right, here's one. We're going with this one. Hi, here we go.
Hi. じゃじゃん.
Entrance. Another easy to write one, although you might mix it up with person. Oh, I can. Other people's chat messages take a second for them to appear on yours so that moderators can moderate if needed. Yeah, we can do that setting, but Kaylee gets there in first place with N meets the fish in second. Alsabi forgot to hit spacebar. No in third. Five-Toed Sloth Bear in fourth. Brady in fifth. Chris Jackson in sixth. Kia in seventh. Amanda in eighth. Morbid Blessing in ninth. Come to Japan Dan with the Iriguchi in 10th. And Montana Margot in 11th. And Swekel in 12th. Very good job. Cozy in 13th. Excellent. Amanda, 入って
いいですね。素晴らしい。
Oops, sorry. All good.
手フォームもできてる。
手フォームもバッチリですね。バッチリ。バッチリ, that's a fun word. バッチリ. You'll hear people say this when you write something correctly or say something correctly in Japanese. Your Japanese is バッチリですね. It's basically perfect.
あ、キヤさんが。
I forgot how to type that one for a moment. All good. New. Or iri. Iri can also get you there, but you have to delete that D.
ニューバランスのニューは最近ニューってやつが流行ってる。
Oh, really? Really? Calling New Balance new?
シューズのデザイン、その漢字じゃないんだけど、ひらがなでニューが流行ってるよね。
New?
そう、ニューバランスの。
Recently, New Balance's sneakers are really popular again over here. I think around the world, actually, they're getting popular again. But recently, they refer to them as just new in hiragana.
そうそう、ワールドワイドデザインなのかな。このさ、靴があるじゃないですか。こんな感じで。
はい。
で、ここにね、ニューって書いてあるの。この
Oh, really? There's a shoe with that written on it?
そうそう。
Oh, okay. So there's a New Balance shoe has
New
new
Balance
on the side of it that are popular here recently.
最近のやつね。
New Balance shoes were dad shoes for a while, but I think around the world actually they're making a comeback as not just dad shoes anymore. Okay, that's kind of cute. I kind of want that.
オフィシャルのやつね、見てね。
ちょっと調べてみよう。
そう。なんか結構ね、尖ってないけど結構チャレンジしたなと思ってニューバランスさん。
Let's see. I'll get the picture up. Oh!
ほら。
Okay, that's kind of cute.
ね、ニュって書いてあるよね。
ニュ。 New. Okay. All right.
最近ね。
That's clever.
最近のね。
I'm not a huge New Balance fan. Like I don't know. I can never get the dad sneaker out of my head because that's the time I was born in. But I could see it. This one's kind of cool.
うんうん。
Looks like a custom one. Oh no, it's this one. へえ。
ね、最近
面白い。
ね、ニューにしてるよね。
うんうんうんうんうん。
でも私は鬼塚タイガー派だから鬼が出ないかね、ちょっと。
She likes
期待して。
Onitsuka Tiger, so she's waiting for Oni to come up on. That's funny. Okay. Nice. All right, let's let the video play out. Let us know how many you got right down in the comments. You can learn the next 5 Pretty wild, right? Morbid. That's how I felt about them too when I was a kid. Probably same generation. Kanji by clicking here if the video is already out. If you don't want to wait, you can continue learning with it is already out on the website. Our level 1 kanji flashcard deck for Anki on ToKiniAndy.com. We're also releasing kanji series videos early for all the members there, so check it out if you want a head start. Yay! Thanks again to Come to Japan Dan for editing this video.
Hi.
There it is. All right, yeah. I just wanted to mention that we have up to lesson 8 now on the website. There's these new little writing practice sheets that we've got. We didn't make them ourselves. We got them off the website kanji.jitenon.jp, so you can also make them yourself there. So even if you're not a member of the website, but they're all compiled for each lesson on the website if you are a member there. So
はい。
just check those out if you're interested.
そう。今日ね、全部キャッチアップする予定なん
She
で。
plans on catching up to the current lesson today,
はい。
but up to lesson 8 is up right now. So you can print those out. They print out quite nicely, even in black and white. You
So-
can't really see it on camera, I don't think, because the gray lines are quite usui.
うん。そのホワイト&ブラックスケールで 印刷しました。
But they look fine in reality.
うん、これでみんなもね、日本人みたいに1って
Yeah, just right. One at a time, over and over and over
す
again.
ごいボーリングなタイムですよ、これ1だけだとね。
Yeah.
早く2に行きたいよね。
It takes a while more blessing to get used to writing at a correct size, but you'll get there.
はい。そう、今日のやつとかね、
Yeah, that one's hard to write.
みたいな。
To write nice and tiny, right?
そう、
Yeah.
ずっとこの四角がさ、ね、
Writing
出
it
てるもん
over
ね
and
こ
over
の
again.
この四角がさ出てるからこれに
Perfect timing. See you later, Kaylee.
く
See you next week.
かくか
We're going to be making the custom ones on that website for each of the words also that we'll be learning for these kanji. So we'll eventually have sheets for just everything. So you can get lots of practice just printing them out if you have a printer. Printers are terrible these days still, but you'd think they make them better by now. But, いいんじゃない? Alright.
練習できます。
ね。俺結構
やってみてね。
トイレ行きたいんだけど待とうかな終わるまで。
了解。
Anyway, thank you for hanging out today, guys. It's been a fun live stream again. This is quite a long video today. It's already 1 p.m. here in Japan.
あ、あら。
Almost, what was that? 2.5 hours. It's a nice long stream. We don't usually make it 2.5 hours.
まあね、今日は結構ランダムトークしちゃいました。
Yeah, we took it easy today. It was nice. My turn to bow out as well. I don't know when I'll be back. We have stuff happening on Wednesday for a couple of months, but maybe I can catch some of the chat time. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you again, Amanda.
ありがとうございます。
Have a great one.
ね。
Have a good couple of months. We'll see you back after that, hopefully.
はい。その他の皆さんはまた来週ですよ。
Thanks all again. Gotta go. Come to Japan Dan. See you later, man. Oh, that rhymed. Laser is the way to go. No fuss. You can let it sit for a year and it still prints when you turn it back on. That makes sense. That makes sense. Laser is quite expensive, I think, but if you can get it, for sure.
レイザーって
印刷機ね。
へえ。
Laser その光線ってことね。Laser
あ
の印刷機。インクではなく。
そんなのあんの？
あるあるある。あります。
3D プリンターじゃなくて。
ではなく、レーザーを使う。光線なんていうレーザー日本語で。
レーザー。
レーザー。Okay. Yeah, so you can use that for a printer as well. All right, guys, thank you so much. We will see you in the next video. next week. Only printer I own is a 3D printer. Got any 3D files? Ooh, yeah. I would like to have a 3D printer. That would be really cool. 3D files for kanji. That'd be fun. As always, these videos are super helpful. Thanks, Andy and Yuki. Thank you. Thank you for coming to hang out.
ありがとうございます。自分でさ、ニューバランス靴作れるじゃん、それ。
I don't think anyone wants to wear plastic shoes. 3D printing is plastic, so you can't just print like a shoe.
じゃあ、ニューじゃさ、ちょっとね、コピーライトがあるから、ニューまでつけて、で、そのプラスチックプレートをさ、靴に貼ればいい。
そうだね。I don't know how that would work, but I think they're pretty hard. I don't think it's soft plastic. But... Anyway, Crocs have entered the chat. Good point. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. We will see you next week. Have a good one. Yeah, and we'll see you then. Ready?
はい。
せーの。また次のビデオで会いましょうね。はい。See you later, guys. Bye bye.
バイバイ。
また来週。
またね。